Hello, you guys. I hope you're doing wonderful. I honestly really wanted to call this podcast episode therapy because I had a really crazy month in April, and it feels like it's been a really long time since I've talked to you because I've had podcast episodes recorded and ready to go up, but I haven't actually just sat down and talked to you guys about like an updated life update, a little bit of therapy, a little bit of vulnerability. I just want to like talk with you guys today and share things that I've been thinking about that's been on my mind, and also I don't know, just kind of talk to you guys. I feel like I need to just sit down, share things that have been kind of getting in the way of business, of wanting to show up. Also, if you're listening to this on Spotify, or maybe you've never been over on my YouTube channel, I feel like now that I'm doing these building a brand series for like the vlog style videos on my channel, I feel like disconnected from you guys in a way. I loved vlogging every week, and that was something I did for like more than a year. I think I was vlogging weekly for a year and a half or even 2 years. And I kind of slowed down on that. I've been doing more like sit down tutorial videos, but I just feel like I haven't talked to you guys. And I feel like in vlogs, I would share those moments like in the moment when things were hard or if I was struggling. And I just haven't been doing that lately. So I feel like I just wanted to sit down and talk about what to do when you have setbacks in life that can affect you in business and make it really hard to show up in business, make it really hard to like want to show up on social media, because that was my April. Like all of April, I just felt like thing after thing was happening, and it just made it really hard to want to do business. It made it really hard to want to pull out my camera and just like talk. So anyway, it is May. Happy May, everybody. I cannot believe it. It's crazy how quick the year is flying by. It's been a really great year though for me over here. I feel like things have been really good. I feel so fortunate. I just feel so grateful and lucky every day to be able to work for myself, doing the things that I love to do. Like, I know how precious that is, and I'm so extremely grateful for it. But because of that, I find it really hard to like complain, or not even complain. I find it really hard to like express feeling sad. I get mad at myself for feeling like sad or upset about things because I know I'm so lucky and grateful, and I have so many things like amazing in my life. So when it comes to like things that maybe are getting me down or that I'm getting in my head about, I feel almost guilty for feeling any other way but grateful. And I've been kind of struggling with that because I used to go to therapy like a lot, and I haven't really been doing that as much lately because just like it's expensive. My insurance covers part of it but not all of it, which is super annoying. And also I just feel good a lot of the times, and then when those weeks or even months hit where I'm like, dang, I wish I had like a therapist right now, it's already like past me, if that kind of makes sense. Like I feel like I've already journaled about it, or maybe I've talked to a friend about it, and now I feel like I don't need therapy, but I know that it's like an ongoing thing that you should be doing. So anyway, I felt like really guilty for feeling sad last month, but there was a week where I was really low, like did not want to do anything, also because I was like on my deathbed sick, but I felt really down, and I didn't know where that was kind of rooting from. So I took some time to like journal and really think about what was causing like that sadness in me. So anyway, I feel like this might be a little all over the place, but I just want to share with you guys like kind of what set me back last month and the way I'm trying to view it now, and the way I'm shifting my mindset to kind of view it more positively. So when April started, it was a totally fine month. I was on my way to go pick up product samples, which I've shown you guys over on my vlog series on YouTube, but I was on my way to go pick up some of the last, actually it was like the final order for my notepad design. I was so excited. Just left the house to go do that and grab a coffee, and On my way home, I was at a stoplight and I got rear-ended pretty hard in my car. I didn't really see it coming. I was just at a stoplight and I actually had my boyfriend on speaker in the car talking to him because he was traveling for work. And I got hit pretty hard. It pushed me through the intersection. Thank God no one was hurt. There was someone crossing the sidewalk, but no one was hurt. So that was a blessing. But it was really scary. And my car kept me super safe. No airbags went off or anything, but my car was pretty damaged. And if you guys had seen last year, I felt like I hit a huge milestone in my life and I was able to buy that car on my own. It was like my first really, really big purchase of something I would consider like unnecessary, like a luxury, but I was so proud of myself because I put so much time and work into being able to do that for myself. And because I travel and drive home to see my family a lot in Northern California, which is like a 3-hour drive from here, I wanted a car that I feel safe in, that can go through the snow, and also something kind of luxurious. I wanted to really treat myself and feel super proud of this purchase. So anyway, this is kind of the first thing that happened of the month was I got hit pretty hard. My car, I took it into the shop. Her insurance was going to cover everything. I say was because now I'm arguing with insurance to have them cover the labor rates, which is a whole other thing. But I still don't have my car back, and it's May now, so it's been almost a whole month without my car, which is honestly, big scheme of thing, totally fine. I'm just so glad it wasn't worse and that no one was hurt. But it was $13,000 of damage, so definitely was a lot of damage, which makes me kind of sad. And I think I was a little stressed about it because my car payments per month, my goal is to pay off my car end of the year, but just having in the back of my head now that it's like not, I don't know, that it's kind of like has a history of damage now, it just like hurt so much inside. I was like, I just got this. Like I was so proud of it, and I still am. I know it's going to be totally fine. I took it to a really good shop, but it just kind of was a bummer. So that happened, and then I got sick. So I actually was sick during that time. I had like a cold. It was really, really mild, but I lost my voice for a couple days. It was like really, really scratchy. My throat really hurt, and I even have like client calls that were recorded, and you can just hear my voice was like so crackly and just it didn't sound like me. So I was sick, and I think the car accident on top of that kind of just stressed me out a little bit, so I didn't really feel super great beginning of the month, and we ended up canceling our Canada trip. My boyfriend was there for work during this whole thing. I was gonna go meet him and we were gonna like travel around. We had everything booked, but I just felt like the signs from the universe were kind of telling me that like I feel like this isn't a good time to travel right now. Wasn't feeling good. The car thing happened. I had so much client work. I was like, we had to talk about just postponing it, canceling it for now, and just focusing on feeling better. So we ended up doing that, and everything was fine. Like I was sad about my car, but it really wasn't the end of the world. But I also felt a little bit in my head and stressed about, this is going to get deep, guys. I'm going to get vulnerable, but I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm really, really hard on myself. Like 90% of the time I'm really hard on myself, and I feel like I'm never doing enough, or I'm not, I don't know, like it's the littlest things. I could feel like I'm not showing up enough. Not even that. Like honestly, sometimes I feel like if I don't work out, I feel guilty because I know I should be moving my body. And I felt like I was kind of putting a lot of priority in my business and clients, and I kind of was losing sight of like taking care of myself, even if that's not working out, just like getting ready for the day, doing my hair to make myself feel good, or going to sleep without looking at my phone. I don't know, just like little things like that I felt like I was losing sight of. And I'm also really, really hard on myself when it comes to friendships. I don't really talk about this a lot, but I feel like for a very long time I've blamed myself for not being like a good friend, because there was a few years when I was younger where I really isolated myself. I kind of felt like a really bad friend for a while. I wasn't very good about making plans, and I kind of lost some friends in that process. this is where I'm going to get vulnerable because I feel like I never really talked about that, but I definitely struggled years after that because I felt like I needed to prove that I am a good friend, that I do care. And I felt like I've spent years and years and years of like making sure I'm the one putting the effort in, making sure that I show up to things, that I say yes, because I felt so guilty for those years where my relationship was everything during that time. And I feel like I just felt so guilty about that. So I feel like I've spent so many years trying to prove that I am a good friend. And in April, it kind of hit me that I'm in this stage of life right now where everybody is living their lives. Like a lot of my friends are getting married or are married. Maybe they want to have babies. I feel like a lot of people are just so focused in on their future now. It's like in those early 20s, I feel like is when you're really trying to have like those awesome friendships and meet your person. And I feel like now I'm in that stage where I'm going to be 30 next month, where I now feel like everyone's focused on their relationship and how they're going to grow that and build their family. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I struggle with that sometimes because I was trying to prove that I'm a good friend for so long. And now I'm like, well, now everyone's focused on their own thing. And I got in a really, really dark headspace last month where I felt like I was like forgettable, which is crazy to say out loud now. I'm far past that mindset now after like talking about it with friends and my boyfriend and journaling. And I'm like, why did I let my mind go that way? But I just feel like I had a little bit of FOMO also because I'll see friends on social media doing things together or doing stuff where I'm not invited or something, and I will get in my head about it sometimes where I know that like that could just be my ego talking of like I want to get invited too. So I try and remind myself like they're still my friends, like we all have our own things too, but that can be really hard sometimes. It can be hard to process, and especially when you're older. I feel like when you're in your late 20s and 30s, like I just hear a lot of women also talking about how difficult it is to like make new friends and maintain friendships. It's like you have to schedule out hanging out with people. And I don't know, it kind of stresses me out. So I think I let that get to me last month because I just saw a few things where I wasn't invited or like I just felt a little bit left out, which is just me in my head. But that kind of got to me. I felt a little sad about it. And then my boyfriend traveling for work, like we've handled it so well and it really doesn't affect our relationship. But I think that in those weeks where things like car accidents happen or sickness happens, or I don't know, those moments where you feel a little down, it's like you want your person there. And sometimes during the week when he's gone, it's hard to be alone all the time like that. So that was kind of getting to me. And then I felt really sad one day and I was like, you know what? I'm going to book myself a facial. They had like this sale going on. So I booked myself this facial and it wrecked my skin for like a couple weeks. I got a hydrofacial and it just made my skin peel and get so irritated for a while. So on top of all those sad feelings, I felt really not confident about my skin, which makes it really hard to want to pull out the camera. But I actually just got a facial today by my client and it was the best facial I've ever had. But yeah, anyway, that happened too last month. And then end of the month comes around and I got the sickest I have ever been. I don't know if it was just stress of me saying yes to way too many things, me feeling sad about friendships, me feeling confused about like, I don't know where my focus should be on right now. Like there was a part of me that was like, should I be focused on like wanting to get married? Should I be focused on like, when am I going to have, I don't know, should I think about having a baby? Like, I don't know. All the things were like going through my head. Definitely feel like I have a lot of goals and dreams right now for like business. We want to get a puppy. Like there's so many things that like we are focused on. But when you see all those things online or like hear friends talking about it, it's easy to like feel like maybe I should be doing that too. But I like to be very mindful about it and I don't want to feel stressed or rushed into anything. So I feel much better about it now. But I think the stress of all that and just being in my head made me get the sickest I've ever been end of last month. I was so sick, you guys. I had a fever. It hit me on like a Sunday. We were at the grocery store and I was like, I do not feel good. I could barely walk the cart without feeling weak. And I was like, we need to go home. I feel so sick right now. I thought, okay, let me back up real quick. So the week before this sickness happened, that Friday before that Sunday, I had a really, really bad allergic reaction. I went to Starbucks and I wanted my brown sugar oat milk latte, which is like my go-to if I go to Starbucks. Really wanted that, but they ended up putting soy milk in it, which I'm not sure why, but they put soy milk, and I kind of knew that I was a little allergic to soy, but I never really have it, so I didn't know how bad. But I took one sip of this coffee and my throat swelled up, and it swelled up so much that I was like kind of really scared, and I rushed myself home, took a Benadryl. It was like only like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Took a Benadryl. I was like super drowsy all day, but I pretty much had like a really bad allergic reaction to the point where my throat was swelling. So that was really scary. So on Sunday when I felt kind of sick, I thought maybe it was just like a post reaction of that allergy attack, but no, it was not. I basically had a fever Sunday night. In the middle of the night, I was like so hot. It's like the weirdest feeling when you have a fever. And I haven't had a fever since I was like little. So I was really confused, but I was super sick and I literally was forced to lay on my butt for an entire week. So all last week I was like so sick with the flu. I actually went to urgent care because one morning I woke up and I was showering and I went to go wash my hair and my armpit hurt. It was like swollen. I was like, what the heck is this? I like kind of freaked out and panicked and I was like, I need to go to urgent care. Went to urgent care. I was like so tired the whole drive over there because I hadn't like left my bed for 3 days when this happened. And they tested me for everything. Wasn't COVID, wasn't any of that. It was actually the flu, which I don't know if I've ever had it. Maybe when I was little, but I don't know if I've ever had the flu. And I'm like, dang, it is no joke. I've had COVID multiple times and this was rough. Like it put me on my butt. I was weak. I was achy. I was so tired. I couldn't even look at my computer because usually when I get sick, I can push through and like work, which probably the universe was probably like, no, you need to lay down and fix yourself. So I literally had to take an entire week off, which was at the end of the day, it really wasn't that big of a setback. I feel like my clients were very understanding. I was like, I need to put my health first. There's no other like option. But the bummer was I ended up postponing my client's project to that week that I was sick because the week prior was the insurance issues with the car. And then I got sick and I was like, oh my God, I already postponed this once before, so I have to do this for him. So I did work a little bit last week, but I really listened to my body and I would like sleep in between feeling like really sick. I don't know. It was rough, you guys. Like I definitely am so grateful and thankful. I have a whole other perspective on health now and just like, I don't know. I feel like it kind of was at the end of the day, like I'm trying to be the glass half full. And I feel like it's reminding me how precious and important our health is. And like, I should never complain about going to the gym or working out or moving my body because I physically could not last week. And now I'm like, I craved it so much that I feel very thankful to have energy. So yeah, that happened. It was a crazy, crazy month, you guys. But I just wanted to share all this because I feel like I was going for years. Like I feel like there was really no huge setback for me until last month. So I think it hit me really hard. And I'm kind of glad it did. Like honestly, if I'm trying to view it positive, because I feel like I needed that like slap in my face to slow the fuck down. I feel like I would say that online a lot where I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to say no more. I'm trying to like, I don't know, like time block and do these things. But I got really, really good at accepting chaos. I got really good about handling chaos. And I thought it wasn't getting to me. I think subconsciously it was stressing me out. But I just thought that was how I operated. And I had a real big hit of reality when the universe was like, okay, things can happen. Your car can get hit. You can get really sick. And those setbacks can definitely affect your business. But if you set yourself up to allow for those emergency situations, or to allow yourself time to like focus on your health, then it's definitely going to pay off in the end. So I think my biggest takeaway from the setbacks that I had is that you cannot overfill your schedule, because when things like that happen, it can be even more stressful on your body and on yourself to have to like schedule or reschedule things, postpone things, or feel like you don't have enough time to like take care of yourself, because without our health, we have nothing. And I feel like that's one of the reasons I am so passionate about wellness. And I definitely was a little disappointed in myself for losing sight of that for a little bit, because I was so focused on like building my business. And I would tell myself things like, well, once I have my business set up and passive income and all that, then I can work out for however long I want during the day, and I can like really focus on those things when that happens. But it's the present day in front of us that also really matters. And I think I really needed to like have that reality check. So anyway, I really wanted to share this because I think things like that in life can happen all the time. My boyfriend had a really good point last night. We were talking about it. And if we didn't have setbacks, or if we didn't have disappointments or sadness in our life, then it would be pretty boring. I feel like if we had just positive thing after positive thing after positive thing, it would be great for a while, but then it would be like we don't grow as much when we have those setbacks or those negative things happen. And it's so funny because one of those days where I felt really, really down about all the things I just shared, and like the being in my head about friendships and future and all that, I remember writing in my journal, I was like, I want to come back to this page when I feel healthy again and feel myself again, and remind myself how important it is to feel healthy and to feel energetic besides business. Like business is one thing, but to feel that on a like surface level, like just feeling good, is so important, and we should not take it for granted. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, I really wanted to talk about like how to handle setbacks in your business if that does happen to you. If you feel like you're facing burnout or overwhelm, or maybe you're in a difficult client situation, or maybe something's happening with like your family or pet, or so many setbacks can happen. So many like bumps in the road can happen. And it's the way that we handle it, the way we come out of it, that really matters and can help. So my biggest piece of advice is to make sure you have a game plan for things like that can happen. I think that's one thing that I wish I feel like I handled it pretty good, but I have like a handful of designers that I could lean on if that happens, if I need to like hand things off to. So definitely don't be afraid to have some contacts on hand of people that maybe can have your back when you're sick, or if something happens, to like pass that off to them or outsource it. So definitely have a game plan for setbacks that can happen. Also, try not to overfill your schedule. If you feel like now you are booming in your business and you're getting a lot of clients and they're reaching out to you about working with you, give yourself, this is a mistake I made. I was booking clients back to back to back. So I didn't have a week in between, or I didn't even have like a couple days in between really. So I would highly recommend to schedule in your own time. Give yourself even like a week in between your clients, so you can just like focus on the things that really, really matter, whether that's like cleaning the house or taking care of your health, which I think the health one should be actually something we do every single day. But those weeks in between can kind of be like a recharge week. And that's something that's like a non-negotiable for me anymore. I learned it the hard way. I let the stress kind of get to me last month. But if I had that week in between to recharge, do those self-care things, maybe those weeks, I would have felt a lot better. So that's another thing that I would recommend doing. Sometimes it's okay to schedule in self-care time. It's okay to schedule in like those hours that you need to just like be mindful, whether that's like going on a walk or waking up and reading a book. Something that is for you is really important to schedule in, especially if you're like super busy and slammed right now. So that was another thing. And then also, I know I just mentioned the way we come out of the setbacks is what really truly matters. And I think I was letting negativity really get to me, but I was also trying to remind myself of the positives that really came out of those situations. Like the positives are no one was hurt in the car accident. My car is fixable. I am healthy again. And also I have amazing friends. I have amazing friendships, and it's normal to feel those feelings. I think I was reminding myself that it's normal and it's okay to feel those things. Even if you can have the most amazing things happening in your life, it's normal and okay to also feel the sad things. It's just the way that we handle it, talk about it, journal about it. And I feel like if you have those tools of how you will express those sad feelings, whether that is a therapist or friends or someone you really trust in your life, that can also really help in those moments of setbacks, just to talk to someone about it, which is another reason I wanted to do this podcast episode. But also just remember that we're not robots. I think I had to remind myself that too. I think I was like, I see all these people online like doing this, doing that, and I felt so behind if I wasn't posting or if I wasn't like doing something productive. But we're not robots, we're humans, and we also need time to rest and recharge and take care of our health. And also, we can't do everything. I had to remind myself that a lot. Like, we can't do it all. So it's okay to outsource those things that are overwhelming you, and it's okay to maybe pass a client on to someone else if you feel like you're too busy this month. And the money will be there. I had to remind myself that too. Like, I feel like a lot of the clients I say yes to it because I'm just so genuinely excited to work on the project. But there's also a part of me that's like, if I don't say yes to this, am I going to not have clients, I don't know, like in 3 months and really need money or something? I don't know why I really needed to switch that mindset in me where I'm like, no, I'm saving money. I have like a savings account to like an emergency fund if there is a month or something where things are slow. But I don't see it being slow for us designers like anytime in the near future. So I need to remind myself that too. Like, it's okay to listen to yourself and pass it on, or tell them that they have to wait 4 months or 5 months. Like, they can wait. So I needed to remind myself that too. But my other tip for setbacks and stuff is to not be afraid to repurpose content. On Instagram, I repurposed content all last week while I was laying in bed, just so sick. I was like, you know what? I need to just repurpose stuff. And it actually performed better than some of my newer posts. So don't be afraid to just post old things that you have, because sometimes people forget that content or you have new followers and stuff. So it's really not a big deal to do that. But yeah, I really wanted to just be vulnerable with you guys, talk with you all, just heart to heart in this episode, share the things that I was struggling with last month. But I'm leaving that behind us. I learned my lessons the hard way for some of them. I mean, the car thing was unavoidable, but another thing that the car accident or my car getting hit reminded me of is the fact that material items can vanish very fast. I mean, car accidents are scary to begin with because they happen so fast, but I feel like I had this kind of weird attachment to my car because I was so proud of being able to buy it on my own. For me, it was kind of like a symbol of my hard work, which I feel like I'm still very proud of it and everything, but I think it had me step back and realize that material items like really are not that important to me because they can go really quickly. They're maybe not as long lasting as like something else that maybe I spend money on. So it kind of had me step back and make me realize like where I'd want to spend my money to treat myself, or maybe to get something that is like, I don't even know how to put this in words, but I hope you guys kind of get me on the whole material item thing. I feel like I'm still kind of navigating that in my head with like, because it is exciting and fun when you start to make money that maybe you want to go invest in something or buy something that you've been really wanting. But I think now that I've done that with the car and that I've seen how quickly things can change with that, I think now when it comes to like spending money on material items, that I'm going to be way more mindful about it. And I feel like I don't regret the car at all. I'm very, very I love it. I'm very proud of it. But I just feel like I have a little bit more of a different mindset on material items and spending money on, I don't know, on like those luxury things. I feel like there's still things that I really love to invest in that maybe are unnecessary, but I don't know, it just kind of had me step back and it made me rethink like materialistic items and like, are they important to me? So yeah, I'm still navigating that in my head, but it definitely made me step back and think about that and where I want to spend my money if I do have a little extra to buy something on. I feel like I'd rather reinvest that into my business or maybe save up for the puppy or our future home. I don't know, something like that. So it kind of had me thinking about that a little bit more. But I've been talking for a while now, so I'm going to probably close this out. But I really just wanted to share with you guys, setbacks can happen in business. Giving yourself those weeks in between to recharge, reset, scheduling the time on your calendar, like physically scheduling time for yourself to take care of your health, whether that's working out, going on a walk, taking time to make like a nice healthy dinner. It's important, and it's okay to schedule it in. As weird as it might feel, it's kind of important to do. And I feel like that's something I'm going to be focusing in on, is blocking out days where maybe I feel like I need some me time or relationship time or whatever it is. Like scheduling that in is totally okay to do. And since we are business owners, it's kind of like a luxury in itself to be able to make our schedule what we want. So that is important to me, and that's something I'm going to be doing. And also, I learned my lesson last month to have those weeks to recharge. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. And I kind of moved things around in the future, like in the near future, to allow that for myself. So that's going to be really good. I'm not letting last month go by without some lessons from it. So I'm just feeling very grateful, and I feel like if you had talked to me at this same exact time last week when I was really, really down and feeling like disappointed in myself for letting my stress get to that point, I would not be saying the same thing. I was really, really down, but now I'm looking at it glass half full, and I'm like, I love the fact that the universe speaks to me. I know that might sound woo-woo or whatever, but I think that it was a huge slap in the face of reality that I cannot be a robot and do everything and say yes to everything and feel like I can do it all on my own. It's okay to outsource. It's okay to push things out, and it's okay to slow down and schedule in the time that you need for yourself. So anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're facing burnout, if you're facing a really big setback, just remind yourself of what's really important in your life, in your world, and everything. And it's okay. Business will always be there. Money will always be there. So it's okay to take like however much time you need to feel yourself again, or to feel healthy again, or to feel like you're back to yourself, because it's not going to do anyone good to show up in business if you are drained and not yourself. So just remind yourself that it's okay to take the time that you need. And I needed that reminder myself. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that, I don't know, it comforted you in some way. Let me know if you guys like got anything out of what I said. That would mean the world to me. But also it would mean the world to me if you follow my podcast on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube. I like to post every Wednesday. I post on YouTube, and I post the podcast every other Friday. So definitely go follow me on those platforms. That would mean the world to me. And it just means a lot to see you guys kind of stick around for other episodes and to follow each other on there. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will speak to you all in my next episode.